My vengeance ends now.
Hello friends, this week's toy review is going to be on NECA's Ultimate Kratos Ghost of Sparta, based on God of War 3. So you can see that the box looks just like the cover of the game. On the side, more of the logo. On the back, let's see, in the end, there will be only chaos. Armed with his deadly double-chain blades, Kratos will take on mythology's darkest creatures to destroy Olympus and mighty Zeus himself. Bonus features: 31 points of articulation, 2 interchangeable heads, 2 blades of Athena, 2 Nemean cestus, and boots of Hermes. So, got some cool pictures here. Kratos about to fight Hades. And then on the side, just some other possible poses that you could put Kratos in. And you got that kind of like Leonardo da Vinci, like Anatomy of a Man thing going on, and that looks really cool. And then, of course, just Kratos himself, and you can see that he does come with all of the things that the box just said he did, because it is an ultimate figure, and that means he should have more articulation and, swappable heads and accessories and stuff like that. This is why they're charging like, $4-5 extra dollars, and I really wanted this thing. I didn't really have the money. I paid for like half of this thing and change. But it's worth it. God of War, if you have not played a God of War series by now, that's almost kind of amazing. Unless you're like, 7. But if you're 7, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video. Uh, but if you're like in your 20s or something, like it's almost impressive you gotten this whole time. You've had to actively made yourself not play the series at this point, and you're really missing out because it's really, really fun. It's got a lot of kind of old school game design, where you'll find that you're like pushing blocks. The gameplay itself has got this really, really satisfying and really, really fun hack and slash gameplay with lots of different like combos and stuff to remember. And as you progress through the game, you get different gear and different weapons and different abilities, and you can upgrade all your weapons and things like that, and magic, and these really, really epic boss fights. And I know like people like to throw around the word epic, but I mean, like with God of War, seriously, they are freaking epic. So all of that with good old-fashioned like puzzles. There's like puzzles in the game. I love that. I love puzzles. And then just like the art design for all of the levels and stages, the creatures and characters are all really, really cool. I wish there were some more figures coming out, maybe some of the other gods. But unfortunately, it is just Kratos. That's okay. Anyways, so let us, circle, circle, square, triangle this bitch open and check out the figure. Okay, for accessories, he has an alternate head. A lot of nice detail. I mean, it really looks like Kratos. He's got this really kind of stern expression on his face because Kratos is never happy. I mean, this guy's having like threesomes with chicks and he's still just kind of like upset. But that's Kratos' thing. Really great detail in his veins and the wrinkles in his ears, scar, and obviously the paint. This is probably the head that I'm gonna have him using most of the time. because I want him looking mean, but I don't need him to look like he's yelling all the time. Then of course you got the Blades of Athena and well, I guess I'll just use one because they're like identical. So the actual blade is made of this kind of translucent orange plastic. And it gets a little like a darker orange towards the point here. And you can see all of that detail in the hilt with a little bit of chain looking like it's wrapped around it so that it looks like it's connected to Kratos. I do kind of wish it was just attached to like an actual real chain, but yeah, it's not so bad. And you know, you can see the kind of skull design. You know, well, it's like a top skull missing a lower jaw, but you got these pointy little teeth. This thing will focus. There you go. See? All right. It's like a little skull. Very nice work there. And then you have the cestus, and man, I really like the fight where you get these. Some people might not like kind of gimmicky boss fights, but I do. At least when the gimmick is kind of fun. I like that the platform you're fighting on is like wobbly, and then you can get you know, basically tossed into the spikes that are along the wall, and you're just trapped in there in a fight to the death. And I thought it was a really fun fight. I was like I knew it was coming from the trailers, and I was just looking forward to it the whole time. Even though I may not have used the cestus as a weapon like that often, yeah, I just like when I have to, I use it, and then you know, punch a couple of chimera in the face to let them know who's boss. But you know, if they used as other weapons, it would have just been, you know, different variations of, you know, other blades. So I think going for the cestus was really the best choice because it seems just, you know, a lot different from his other weapons, and it's just got a really cool design. Like I wish these were a little bit bigger so that I could get a bunch and then just have them like be like the doorknobs all around my home. Like that would be really neat. What I like about it is that it looks like it's made out of brass. You know, like it looks heavy. Like if I left it laying around, you know, it seems very realistic. And then obviously you get Kratos' hand in there. So I think that was a really good choice for uh, for for uh, for an alternate weapon. And then you have this, and this is just part of his armor, and it's supposed to be on his forearm, but for some reason it comes as a separate piece, like as if like it wouldn't, like if it was on his arm, then his arm wouldn't fit in the package or something. I don't know. That seems kind of silly to me, but for whatever reason, it's a separate piece. So I don't know. You just that big giant peg, you stick that into the forearm there. But yeah, those are his accessories. So once again, I am thoroughly impressed with the work that NECA has done. The figure looks fantastic. All of the detail and like, you know, his rippling muscles, veins, scars, um, it just, you know, the straps and the chains, the very clean lines on his you know, red swirly tattoo. Um, but for me, what I really like is that his skin, it looks ashy. It's not just white or just some kind of pale white. It looks ashy, and I really you know, you couldn't really tell that much in like God of War 1 and 2, but when God of War 3 came out, God of War 3's graphics were amazing. They're still amazing, even though it's been remastered or whatever for PS4. But even back on PS3, I was like, dude, this is like next gen before next gen. It looked really, really damn good. And so to have that ashiness come across in the figure and the paint is really, really, really cool. Um, Another thing I like, well, at least to me anyway, is that like to me the leather looks like leather and the metal looks like metal. And you can see on the back there you got a holster for the blades so you can put them back there. Got like some blood splash on the shoulder armor. I guess he blocked. And all of this, all the detail on all these little straps. It's like a very soft plastic. And then of course you got the boots of Hermes, and you got the wings, and then all of these, all the detail, like, you know, what essentially is just wrapping straps around and around and around for these boots and the sandals. Little bit of a little paint smudge right there, but not really a big deal, and it's not like that's on every figure. It's, you know, just the one I got, and I can fix that later. But all of that stuff, and you can see what these bandages, which I guess are sort of like Kratos's boxers, I guess is how that works. And well, since I guess maybe someone might be a little bit disappointed if I don't do this, here you go. That's what's up Kratos's skirt. So if that's your thing, uh, pause it now. Okay, hopefully that was enough and you are satiated. You can see the scar Kratos has in his stomach. All that detail in the chains. If I had a kind of a complaint, it's that I wish he came with real chains. I'm trying really hard right now to think of a figure that comes with some sort of realistic chains that I could use, because if I wanted to pose him in a really dynamic pose, I would like to be able to have the blades being extended on a chain. You know, like when you hold the button down and you do that big whirlwind kind of thing. Um, well, you have to hold like L1 and the button down for that, but you know what I mean. And so I would like something like that. Maybe just use like a thin bit of wire, you know, kind of woven in through the chain, and then you can kind of pose the chain like that. I think that'd be really, really cool. So I kind of wish that he came with the chain. Now I gotta go and try and find one on my own. I guess another little thing that I wish he came with was maybe like two little pegs in the back for those Icarus wings, because I really like those sections of the game where you do with those Icarus vents and you had to do that. So I love those. Man, I thought they were so fun. I had a girlfriend at the time who fucking hated those sections. That's because she really sucked at them, like real bad. Uh, but I love them, so I would have to do like those sections for her, not because she like I can't do it, but just she would just get so fucking pissed off and she just gets so frustrated that like I would do it just so she can calm the fuck down. Because like, dude, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, like the bonus stages, like you're basically going down a tunnel and you just move left and right out of the way of danger. Like I've been doing this forever and I've always liked it. So, you know, but then again with video games, I'm one of those weirdos. I like the turbo tunnel in Battletoads, and you know, I like stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but look how fantastic it looks. His eyes, the detail in his teeth, a little bit of paint on the goatee. I don't know. Kind of got some white stuff in your beard. What have you been doing, Kratos? Huh? Uh Anyways, no, it's just all really cool, and those really aren't complaints. That's just me wishing he came with more things. That is not like a knock against the figure, because the figure itself is really, really cool. You know, when God of War Ascension came out, I did not have the money to afford the special edition that came with that little statue, because there were other things coming out. Like um, I got like you know, the Tomb Raider reboot, and I bought the special edition of that because I was like, oh man, Tomb Raider's back. And then I played the game. It's like, well, no, maybe she's not exactly back. That was kind of a mistake. Kind of wish I didn't spend $100 on that. But then later, you know, there was The Last of Us, and so I didn't have the money to also get the special edition of God of War Ascension. But that came with a statue, and I was really disappointed that I missed out on it. Now it's not such a big deal. I mean, he looks like he's 8 inches to me, so he's pretty big, and he will fit alongside the other like PlayStation little statues and stuff that I have, and because I kind of want to have like all of the PlayStation heroes, next to each other, and it'll be like the ill-fated PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale team that just never stood a chance or whatever. I think that game's pretty okay. A lot of people are upset that such and such characters weren't in it, but like when Smash Brothers first came out, there were only 8 fucking characters in that game. So I think PlayStation All Stars needed like a starting off point, and it wasn't all that bad of a game. No, it wasn't exactly like Smash Brothers, but I guess that's because it was trying to differentiate itself a little bit so that it wasn't, exactly like that particular franchise. Anyways, I guess it doesn't matter now. I don't know if we'll ever see a Battle Royale 2. I really liked that they had Cat from Gravity Rush, it's free DLC, and so that's why I played the game, and I'm pretty sure it's been available for free on PlayStation Plus. Oh well, God of War Ascension I know was free on PlayStation Plus, so maybe you have it if you haven't tried it. Maybe you have it and then you didn't download it because you, I don't know, weren't really into God of War as a series. Maybe it just never appealed to you, or maybe you're just like you didn't want to download it because it's a huge download. It's something like 32, 35 gigs or something like that. But I say make space on your hard drive and download it and give Ascension a try. Ascension, to me, is a pretty nice jumping in point. And because it is a prequel, because if there's anything God of War series likes, it's prequels. You won't be missing out on a bunch of story bits, so you can basically start there and feel like you're starting at the beginning, and then you can give the series a try. It's a whole lot of fun, very satisfying to kick a whole lot of ass, and Kratos is definitely an ass kicker. Like, lift the dude up over his head and rip him in half, fucking ass kicker. So, the series is a lot of fun, and as far as the figure goes, I definitely recommend it. I was really worried that I was not going to get my hands on this figure because that happens where by the time I get to the store, it's already sold out. That's been happening to me on all kinds of things for like the last 2 weeks, and I was really getting frustrated, man. But whatever. It worked out all right in the end, and I did manage to get this figure before it sold out. And I hope you can do the same if you can find it at your local Toys R Us. At Toys R Us, it's only $24.99. At my comic book shop, it was $29.99. But the Ultimate figures range from that $24.99, $29.99. So I think it's definitely worth it if you're a God of War fan. I'm pretty sure you would want this in your collection. So highly recommended. Okay, so looking at articulation, his head turns left and right, as one would expect. It doesn't really look down worth a damn, and it doesn't really look up whatsoever. Like that's not a whole lot of movement you're getting out of him as far as that is concerned. Then for the shoulders, he's got a ball joint at the shoulder. This one's a little stiff. His muscles are a little big. There you go. So it's kind of hard to get it to raise up. And if you're worried about the armor maybe constricting movement, it doesn't really. This is actually kind of a little bit of a softer plastic, and so it moves, and you can still rotate. So that came out really well. And then, you got double jointed elbow and a swivel at the bicep. And then a hinge at the wrist that, of course, also swivels. Then he's got this ab crunch. I don't know. I'm not that big a fan of when the ab crunch is kind of like that. I kind of like when it's more of that kind of diaphragm joint. And then I think the way that mixed with maybe a waist joint can kind of give you an ab crunch, because this is a little too jarring to me, in the sculpt. But this does allow him to get that kind of ab crunch going. You have that kind of like, we bring his arm out. Yeah, you know, almost that kind of, he's chained, that kind of like punished look that he's got going on in like Ascension. So you can get that. So it doesn't go back very far, but you know, obviously it does crunch very well. And then he has a waist swivel, so right there he can do what very many other NECA figures can't, which is look to his right or left. Uh, and then he's got a ball joint on the legs. Gonna have to get that crotch shot again so you can see that. Yeah, and then it swivels up there too. And I can't tell, like, if he's supposed to have. I feel like that's just the line where the bandage meets the thigh, and that's not necessarily another articulation point. If it is, I can't turn that worth a damn, so I don't think that's a joint. It looks like it is, but I can't get it to turn there. Well, anyways, and then he has a double jointed knee. And no swivel at the boot, nope. But he does have an ankle hinge, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't move very much because of the way the boots are. So, you get a little bit of movement out of there. And then he's got some toe articulation, although it's pretty much useless. That feels like it's in there just to add another articulation point, you know, for the back of the box, because the way his sandals work, like you can't really get these. I mean, like this strap is like a slightly softer plastic, but you really can't get much out of that. So that seems kind of useless. I guess it's, you know, I guess it's nice that it's there, but whatever. And he does have that ankle pivot. It's a little hard to tell because you don't get much movement out of that either because of how far down the armor comes. And I guess that's just the thing, you know, you got articulation that you want to have, but the character has a specific design in terms of what they're wearing that kind of constricts that. And it's unfortunate, but you know, you got to take the good with the bad. At least it came out really well for the shoulder armor, you know, so at least you still get the range of movement there, which um, to me that's more important than you know, than what's going on with his ankles and his toes. So uh, I think overall a lot of nice articulation, so you can get a lot of really cool different poses out of him.